Welcome to the 3 to Make 2 podcast on the MTC Media Network. I'm your host, Mark Washington. We're going to be bouncing around the NBA, starting with Boston making changes. Why hasn't Philadelphia? The Celtics signaled that they were willing to adjust their roster, even if it meant losing the heart and soul of their roster. Boston sent Marcus Smart to Memphis and brought in Porzingis from Washington. That leaves Derek White and Malcolm Brogdon to run the point. One would think that Boston would look to make another move, whether it's Brogdon or Grant Williams. We'll have to see. Just get that feeling that the Celtics aren't done. Meanwhile, in Philadelphia, it's business as usual. There was a rumor out there that Philly and Phoenix was trying to talk about moving Tobias Harris for various packages, but right now it looks like that has not been completely accurate, at least as of this taping. As for now, there isn't anything concrete to make me think that these talks are serious. So what happens with Philadelphia now? There's no way they can run it back with that team, because that team cannot get past a team like Miami, especially if they get Damian Lillard. They can't get past a team like Boston, even as they continue to make up their roster. You get where I'm going with this. Philadelphia, you got rid of Doc Rivers. This is not a situation where you can sit around and run it back. Boston knew better. The 76ers better start thinking about what moves they can make to help them advance in the playoff, because Embiid, his roster, the whole trust the process, that window is quickly fading. For all of the content on MTC Media, head to our social media platforms. On Twitter and IG is MTC with Mook. On YouTube is at Making the Cut with Mook. You'll find all our content right there. You know, the Miami Heat are coming off of a run to the NBA Finals. They are runner-ups yet again, and you have to ask yourself the question, what's next for Max Strus and Gabe Vincent? Both of those guys are unrestricted free agents. As we head into the weekend, we're very close to the NBA's free agency period. Now, I know there's been a lot of talk around Dame Lillard. If he's willing to leave Portland, reports are Miami is his number one destination. And of course, you have to assume that Pat Riley is trying to keep things open to see if that comes to fruition. But if it doesn't, that does mean re-signing Max Strus and Gabe Vincent. Now, look, you can't be a prisoner of recency. We understand that in the NBA Finals, both of those guys struggle. Strus struggled mildly in the finals. He shot 23.3% from the field, 18.7% from the three-point line. Vincent, it was more of an up and down. Games 1 and 2, he was a difference maker. He averaged 21 points a game. Games 3, 4, and 5, that was very different. In those games, he shot 6 for 29 from the field, 1 for 14 from 3. But despite their bad performances, Pat Riley has made it known that he is very comfortable. If the situation calls for Miami to run it back again, he's willing to run it back with this roster. If you haven't already been there, hey, you got to make it over to the Making the Cut with Mook website. It's mtcwithmook.com. You can catch everything from our podcast to our articles to our subscription articles. Head on over there. Be sure you don't miss any of the action. John Collins, if there's anything that you could bet your life on, was that the sun rises in the east, that John Collins' name will come up in trade rumors. It's finally happened. Collins was traded to the Utah Jazz for Rudy Gay and a second-round pick. Now, on the surface, that might not make sense, but under the new pending CBA, it does. The trade provides Atlanta with two major benefits. The Hawks will now drop below the second apron at $182.5 million, and also beneath the luxury tax threshold at $165 million for the 2023-2024 season, which is something that they're looking to do considering where they are in the East. It also creates a $25.3 million trade exception, which will be the largest in the NBA. For the Jazz, and you might ask, why would a team that has collect asset after asset after asset do this? Because Danny Ainge has added on to his young nucleus. Collins is going to going to be added on to the young guys such as Lauri Markkanen, Walker Kessler, and the 9th pick of this year's draft, Taylor Hendricks. Utah is building in a way that we have seen the Oklahoma City Thunder have built. Team that is competitive. Even though you're in a rebuild, I know people like to use the word tank, but even though you're rebuild, it is a competitive team of young talent and then a bushel full of assets. Utah will need to prove that they can cash it in, especially Danny Ainge. Because Danny Ainge, if we go all the way back to the trade for Garnett and Paul Pierce, something that was started by Danny Ainge, the Boston Celtics is still yet to win an NBA title. So thank you for joining our first episode of 3 to Make 2 podcast. You're going to be able to catch us on Apple iTunes. You're going to be able to catch the video of everything on our YouTube channel. This is Marcus Washington.